And
Yeah.
it's the fastest demon out there, but it doesn't need to be under normal conditions. But
Then,
wow,
then the mouse wouldn't work.
yeah, that was the first problem.
Yeah. Hey, we're light though now.
We're good. We're
We're
good to
up
go.
there.
Welcome
We're good.
aboard, y'all. Good
Now I have
weekend.
to catch up on my gadgets.
It
I
was
have to-
certainly wonderful, beautiful weather. So.
It was beautiful.
We
weather.
call this day every year April Fool's Day. It's also known as All Fool's Day
Yeah,
because
that's
there are
me.
so many fools out there, I guess. Full of mostly harmless jokes and pranks that sometimes get a little carried away. Every now and then, folks in the media get involved. One time, the BBC carried a story about spaghetti growing on trees, even showed some fine folks picking the noodles from a tree. And people bought it. They actually bought it. Yeah, I've done a few. Sometimes they may have gotten out of hand, not intentionally.
No.
Yeah, right. But we want to know one of two things. What's the best joke that you fell for? And have you ever come up with a joke that was the cream of the crop for April Fool's Day? Have you ever done something that really worked?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. To an April Fool's party.
That would be fun.
It was at Riceville Beach at some friends of ours' house, and I drove over there. But on the way there, I called because I was. I called Riceville Beach PD and got a guy over there that I knew pretty well. He used to work drugs, and when he was with the county, and we worked together a little bit. So I called, got him. He happened to be in the office. I said, "Listen, I got something I want you to pull." So he said, "Not a problem." And he's deadpan guy, right? All the time. So his thing was after I got there, he was going to come up there and knock on the door. It's an upstairs type thing because downstairs they have stilts that pilot to keep the houses off the ground where the water shows up during hurricanes. But he knocked on the door, and the lady of the house, the butt of my jokes. She responded to the door, and he called her outside on the porch, and he said, "You've got a loud party going on here, and if I have to come back here, if I get another complaint and I come back here." So she came back in, her face was kind of ashen. She told everybody what happened. Everybody's quiet. And then I said, "April Fool's." And then it was like, it was on.
Oh, it was.
It was fun.
I was the brunt of an April Fool's joke.
Oh, were you?
Junior high, which traumatized me. I was a student at Northwoods Park. We called it in Northwoods Park Junior High. And I'm like, what? I was very quiet in school, not like I am now.
Hardly ever talked, right?
Right. So they called me out into the hallway, and they called the principal. And at the principal was Louis Sewell.
Oh.
And if anybody knew Louis Sewell.
Did he come with a paddle?
Yes. I was scared to death. And then it turned out to be an April Fool's joke. Why they picked a little timid kid in class,
well,
I
that's
don't know.
Easy mark.
Really? Look, I was traumatized the rest of the school year.
Poor baby.
Yeah, you see Louis Sewell coming down the hallway with the paddle in his hand, you'd be traumatized
It swings
too.
it back and forth like this too.
Traumatized every time I go over the bridge with his name on it.
Well, if you will call in advance, or call the JPD, put it over the sign until you pass by, and then they'll take it off.
You think they would?
Yeah, give them a call sometime and ask.
That man scared me. I was a good student, but after that, man.
Yeah, sometimes the April Fool's jokes, they involve a little fear, fake fear.
Sure.
Maybe a fake snake or a large fake spider dropping down from the ceiling on a thread to someone sitting in a chair.
I did that to my sister all the time. It didn't have to be April Fool's. I'd hide behind the bushes when she was living with me for a little while, and I'd hide behind the bushes at nighttime when she'd get off work. About bush, the whole neighborhood heard her screaming.
She was a screamer.
She was a screamer.
Oh my!
I took a plastic roach and put it in her coffee cup one time.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, I terrorized her.
You might catch that whole
in the cabinet. Of course, I have it pointed out with a handle, so I know she's going to pick that one. So she brought it down. When she saw that, there was a the coffee cup broke.
It shattered. Oh, on 3-9. I know that Timmy has probably pulled them with his donkeys and
Oh,
stuff.
I'm sure he has.
Theo,
Yes.
probably more people have pulled jokes on Theo than he's pulled on people. What do you think?
Well,
Either way, I'd like to hear from you.
Yes, yes. I'm trying to think of so many April Fool's jokes out there that. Just say before we go any further, congratulations to your wolf pack.
Yep, and we're going to be talking with Chris Miller, a special Miller time this morning in about
Yes.
4 or 5
Yay,
minutes. So
good.
hang in there for that one.
Proud to have a North Carolina team still in there.
Absolutely.
And if
What are
it's back, I'm for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Final four time.
I
coming up.
believe they beat Duke.
Guess what happened on this date? The year was 1945.
April Fools, I don't know.
After suffering the loss of 116 planes and damage to 3 aircraft carriers, 50,000 U.S. combat troops under the command of Lieutenant General Simon B. Buckner Jr. landed on the southwest coast of the Japanese island of Okinawa, 350 miles south of Kyushu. I don't know how to pronounce it, the southern main island of Japan. Determined to seize Okinawa as a base of operations for the Army, ground, and air forces for a later assault on mainland Japan. That's what was more than 1,300 ships. 1,300 ships converged on the island, finally putting ashore 50,000 combat troops. The Americans quickly seized 2 airfields, advanced inland to cut the island's waste. They battled nearly 120,000 Japanese army, militia, and labor troops under the command of Lieutenant General Mitsuru Ushima. Japanese surprised the American forces with a change in strategy, drawing them into the middle rather than confronting them at the water's edge, where the Americans had plenty of big guns fired from their carriers offshore. While the Americans landed without loss of men, they would suffer more than 50,000 casualties, including more than 12,000 who were killed as the Japanese staged a desperate defense of the island, a phase of kamikaze air attacks. Eventually, these suicide raids proved counterproductive as the Japanese finally ran out of planes and resolve, with some 4,000 finally surrendering. Japanese casualty 117,000. We lost 12,000. They lost 117,000.
Wow.
By the way, the guy who was in charge of this operation, Lieutenant General Buckner, he was the son of a civil.
Really?
I had not a clue. He was among the casualties killed by enemy artillery fire just 3 days before the Japanese surrender. Japanese General Ushijima committed ritual suicide of his forces. If you've never seen the film Okinawa, 1952, starring Pat O'Brien, it's one of a bunch of movies that came out to depict this decisive episode history of the war. You may want to try to look it up on some of those
Sounds interesting.
channels here,
History
there, and everywhere.
channels.
You'll find it. I'm sure you
Yes.
can find it.
Tell you what, our military, love our military.
Absolutely.
I
That's
like-
I mean, that was one of the battles. There were many in the South Pacific. I actually did I did that for John Legato, who produced
Miller time.
a film recently. Well, last year, I guess it was. He produced it over a period of 6 or 8 years. But I voice tracked it, and I learned a whole lot of stuff from just tracking that thing, just doing the voice in it. So anyway,
Interesting.
called The Last Muster. If you see it, hopefully
Yes.
it will be coming to a channel, a military channel,
I
or
wanna
whatever
see
to you
that.
at some point in time. Mr. Miller, it is a special Miller time. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Morning, Chris.
Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning?
We're doing very well. Weather here and on the court was very good.
Yes.
Yeah, congratulations to the NC State Wolfpack and the fans. I mean, what a great run that they've been on. They defeated Duke yesterday in the state.
Can you believe that?
So they're going to the Final Four, and I mean, just what a terrific run. I mean, this is what March Madness and the NCAA basketball tournament is all about.
Absolutely. for those.
Yeah, I don't want teams that come, that surprise a lot of people. And once you get hot and you start playing well, then it's very hard to beat you. And they're playing with a lot of confidence. They were down a few points yesterday. You knew Duke was going to come out and play well, given that they had lost to NC State a few weeks ago in the ACC tournament, and so you knew they were going to come out and try to prove some people wrong. And they had the lead, and then NC State played a strong second half, and it's going to be going to Houston for the Arizona for the Final Four.
The pack prevails. Keep her
They do.
Outstanding.
shades of what was it? 41 years ago, 1983, Arizona.
Yep, a lot of people are comparing that because that '83 team. They were a good team. I mean, record-wise, I think they weren't as good as because they had some injuries throughout the season that cost them a few games.
Mhm.
There was one game against Virginia and Ralph Sampson one year that they had the lead, and an injury to a key player kind of prevented them from winning. But this NC State team a month ago, before everything started, was 17-15 or 17-14. Had to win the ACC tournament 5 games in 5 days because they had played additional games to get that far. They did. They got an automatic bid to March Madness, and look what they're doing now. They won 4 more games in the NCAA tournament to get to the Final Four. So for people who may not know, making the Final Four
Huge.
it's a
big
pretty
deal.
big deal. That's something you put on a banner inside your chest. Hey, we made the 2024 Final Four. So it's a big deal, and they'll play Saturday around 6:09 on Saturday. They are going to be playing a tough team. They're going to be playing the Purdue Boilermakers, which is one of the alpha dogs in this tournament. And they have 2-time reigning National Player of the Year and a young man, 300 pounds. So he's a
Full grown
on the basketball court, a great player. But so Purdue will definitely be the favorite. But hey, this is why you play the games, and this is why you want is who would have thought NC State got this far, but they are, and they're going to come in with that game with a lot of confidence. For sure.
Yeah. One game at a time. One game at a time. That's what the coaches should tell you.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's why you games. That's why you don't give up, and so I think a lot of young athletes can look at these situations saying, hey, don't give up and continue to play because you never know what's going to happen.
That's right. The other team's part to put you ahead.
I would have never expected a state to go this far. Congratulations.
We always hope.
Oh, yes, but I'll tell you what, I am so proud of them.
And then I think it also, it means in the previous round. I mean, anytime State, North Carolina, Duke play each other, it's always a big deal. It's always a big rivalry game between the three. Those three in particular. To get this, to kind of continue this run, I think that's a little added spice to everything.
For sure. Well, Candy sent over my state cap this morning for you, so that's what I'm doing for y'all who can't really see it on the cameras, but that's what it is.
We're going to post it.
Yeah, well, you got a picture.
Yes.
So anyway, all right, Chris, we'll see you, I think, Thursday probably.
Yep, I'll call it.
All
And
right.
we'll get a preview of how the state's doing too, because they should be out there. Hopefully, they'll be out there and doing a little scrimmage and playing.
Yeah, they'll be practicing the entire week. They'll probably make the trip to Arizona, probably and then they'll have like a media day like on Wednesday or Thursday, and then they'll proceed through Saturday. So they'll play it around 6:09, and then Connecticut, Alabama will play the next game, and then the winner of those 2 games Monday night around 9 in the national championship.
That would be great. And then next Tuesday, you will be calling in here with talking about how great state is, right?
Sure, we'll do it. I look forward to it.
It's sound like a winner to be. We got a plan for the future just in case.
Hey, if my heels can't be in there, I'm all for another North
All for
Carolina
the-
team.
All for the pack. Let's stand up and holler. Okay,
He's wearing Carolina blue though, Chris. Shh.
that's not Carolina blue. That's That's
Well, thank you, my
watercolor.
friend. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, you take care. Let's take a break here, live and local, real talk. Well, we're not going to take a break yet. I got something else to say first. We're gonna do something. We got a new little deal we're going to be doing here.
That's right.
So we're going to do it
That's
now.
right.
We've added something new
We
to
have a
our
new
daily
sponsor.
shows. Each weekday, about 7:20ish or so, going into the normal time for weather break, we're going to offer some expert advice from a lot of folks in our neck of the woods, people who have experienced some of the rough weather that we can dreaded H word, but yes, we are approaching hurricane season 2 months from today. It runs from the 1st of June through the end of November. While that's the typical hurricane season around these parts, the peak month for hurricanes is September. But they can happen early, as we've seen a few times, and they can actually find their way into the tropical waters even into December. So what to think about now, right now, to help you get ready for this year? Perishable food is a good thing to have in your pantry. And unless you have ways to cook it without the benefit of electricity, remember Florence, some people were without
Remember
power
well.
for what, 7 days?
Me.
You might want to prepare with that in mind. And yes, comfort food is great for the nerves and for nervous little ones. Ice cream, it melts when the power goes out. Not the best of plans. We're going to do with all sorts of tips as we go along, so just hop on board. And severe weather tips are brought to you by the John Stars team. John Stars Electric. You've heard us talk about emergency standby generators, I'm sure. The John Stars team have generators in stock right now. They have trained installers and service techs that can take the worry out of power interruptions, not only during hurricanes, but when severe lightning storms like we had last week put a kink in your plans. It's time to power up your life with a Generac from John Stars Electric. Make an appointment today calling 910-989-1908. I did that some months back. Fact, it was about this time of year last year. I did it. And a couple of months later, I had one of those standby generators waiting just in case we lose power here, whether it's a summertime thunderstorm, because that can. And when your TV shuts down, when you got no power, it's hard to kind of track while your internet shuts. Hard to track all those storms that are out there. You're all alone. John Stars Electric, 910-1909. You can have the same peace of mind that I have. You're live and local, Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m., WSME.
Liberty Mutual, how to be the life of the party.
Okay, first turn the music off, then ask for everyone's attention. Now, tell them that you customized your home insurance with Liberty Mutual and saved hundreds. Boom! Now everyone knows you're not just a pretty face. You have some know how to save hundreds on home insurance. Woo!
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com. Based on recent survey of new customers who switched and saved. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Trap that old phone? Don't. Getting a new phone is easy. Come into Verizon and get one of our best phones on us with Select Trade-In on Unlimited Ultimate Plan and get a plan that helps you save by only paying for what you need. Act now and get your Verizon store today. $999.99 device payment or full retail purchase with your smartphone line on Unlimited Ultimate Plan required. Less up to $1,000 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Trading conditions apply.
A plan a family member should consider is the pre-arranged funeral. It's the worry-saving thing to do for your family. Making pre-arrangements helps to alleviate the additional stress on family members that can come with arranging a loved one's funeral. Jones Funeral Home Funeral Plan helps remove confusion. They make a practical evaluation of costs possible, and it's the best way to take an unpleasant task off the shoulders of the family. Call Jones Funeral Home at 455-1281.
With locations in Jacksonville, Richland, Swansboro, and Holly Ridge.
Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry, where we love to make you smile. Now proud to be working with Drs. Kim and Tommy Morgan, formerly Morgan Family Dentistry. The Jacksonville and Richlands Morgan offices of Lane & Associates Family Dentistry blends the latest technology with personal care and attention, so you have an amazing dental experience. The offices of Lane & Associates welcome all ages and accepts all major insurance area. Lane & Associates Family Dentistry has been serving the state of North Carolina for over 40 years, with 2 locations in Jacksonville, Richlands, and Maysville. Call for an appointment today at 877-LANE DDS or online at lanedds.com. Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry.
When you need comforting, who do you call? An old friend, right? Jacksonville Heating Contractors services the heating and cooling needs of our area with train systems, guaranteeing indoor comfort for your home or business. In addition to quality train systems, Jacksonville Heating Contractors offers 24-hour emergency service, NATE certified technicians, and over 50 years of experience and service you can trust. And with a Jacksonville Heating Contractor service agreement, you never pay retail for heating or cooling services and receive priority scheduling. Remember, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And in New Bern, you can call Trent Heating and Air Conditioning 252-633. In Morehead City, Sea Air Heating and Cooling 252-247-1122. If you need service or repairs, just call an old friend. Jacksonville Heating Contractors, an independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. For deals on trains and more, visit anoldfriend.com or call 910-347-2843.
It's live and local. Real talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
Yeah, today's Marine Forecast brought to you by Community Services right here in Jacksonville, a brand new sponsor for us on the Marine Forecast. We've read bad things about vaping, right? Especially when it involves young people, the people who are in the formative years. Well, North Carolina is number 2 in teen vaping. Number 2. That's not a good place to be. No. We certainly don't want to be number 1, but number 2 is not good, not that much better. Here's an idea for the parents among us. Learn about vapes. What's in them? How dangerous they can be for teenagers. You might just simply find out what the various kinds of vapes there are that your kids have easy access to. I've heard about vaping. I never did any studying about vape recently, and I started looking to it, and I said, why do we have this available to these kids?
Right.
Adults, they don't have enough common sense as it is. Teenagers are just like going along with the peer groups.
Right.
Community Prevention Services offers free information on all substance misuse prevention issues for youth and adults. Give them a call today, 910-353-0972. I'll give you the number again in a minute. Community Prevention Services is located at 918 Henderson Drive right here in Jacksonville. They do a great job. They're great for educating people. One of the biggest problems that we have in this country today, drugs. Vaping is right up there. You say it's not drugs. Well, it is and it isn't. If you don't think that any significant number of these individuals who are vaping are using legal parts to commit an illegal activity, you're sadly mistaken. Community Prevention Services, 910-353-0972. Small craft advisories in effect through late tonight. Going to be a wee bit rocky on the open seas. Offshore today, southwesterly winds 15 to 20 knots with gusts to 25, seas 4 to 6 feet, dominant period 4 seconds. They're close together and they're big waves. Sounds and rivers pretty choppy. Tomorrow, southwesterly winds 15 to 20, increasing to 20 to 25 in the afternoon, gusts up to 30 knots, seas 4 to 5 feet, building to 5 to 7 in the afternoon tomorrow. Dominant period again, 4 seconds, really big. Sounds and rivers choppy and becoming rough in the afternoon. Southwesterly winds on Wednesday, 20 to 25 knots, gusts to 30, seas 6 to 9 feet. I told you it was going to get worse. Sounds and rivers, a rough weekend. What a fine Easter it was. Weather could not have been better.
Beautiful.
No way, no how. So what are you going to do about it this week?
Okay, we're going to start the week nice. Today is mostly sunny with a high near 85, west wind 6 to 13 miles per hour with gusts as high as 21. Tonight, mostly cloudy with the low around 63. Tuesday, mostly sunny with a high near 86. Southwest wind 8 to 15 with gusts as high as 24. Tuesday night, mostly cloudy with and Wednesday, a 70% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Mostly cloudy with a high near 78. Breezy with a southwest wind 13 to 20 miles per hour with gusts as high as 33. And Thursday, Thursday, Sunday 65. So you have rain coming in Wednesday. It's going
Yeah.
to cool down a little bit.
Yeah. Got to get my garden going. I got some plants out there that are too tall for out there. They got to be out there, out yonder, outside.
Yes, I
And
listened to some gardening advice this morning from local weather stations,
Uh-huh.
and it said that there may be a possibility one night next week we may get down to cold.
How cold is cold?
To mid 30s, but he said it
I'll
should
wrap it
be
up.
okay to. It's as long as
Yeah,
but
low 30s, it doesn't mean it's
Right.
freezing, but it also does mean that other conditions could
keep those little babies.
put some frost out there. Frost is what will kill
Right.
when the temperature is in above
Exactly.
freezing. But there can be frost even when the temperature.
So, how was your Easter Sunday?
Wonderful. Went up to New Bern, had some lunch with my sister and brother-in-law and some of their
Nice.
friends, and it was nice.
I went to Hampstead and had a dinner with my family there.
good.
It was great to see my children who now tower way over me. My grandson is 6 foot now. He's
Oh,
only 15.
3 years old.
15.
Oh, wow.
And he's a basketball player. So
Good.
watch out, world. We'll be talking about him one
There
day.
you
But
go.
I just, what's one of my pet peeves I always talk about when I'm traveling?
Traffic.
Oh,
People
well, traffic.
speeding. Oh, littering. Oh, that should be a
From the moment I left the city limits of Jacksonville to I hit of Hampstead, it was nothing but trash. All 17 South is horrible. Horrible. I even saw a trash pile where somebody had thrown furniture and stuff. But you talk about littering along the highways, it looked horrible.
It would be great if every government, local government, county commissioners, the city councils, up and down, wherever, our
Right.
entire southeastern region here, one of them could offer a reward to every law enforcement officer that cites someone and gets a conviction. In other words, put bounty hunters out there.
Oh.
And gets a conviction for littering.
It's just
give them a bounty of $100. That would go a long ways to make sure that they look out for these idiots.
I was appalled at the amount of litter I saw, but it's every time
It's,
I
it's
go.
irritating.
Every time I go. People who litter, you're nasty.
It's either that or make it a civil fine and then allow every person in North Carolina to apply. It's kind of like meter maids are. They're not. They just basically serve summonses or tickets to people, right?
I'll tell you.
You apply and get a whole bunch of litter patrol people out there.
Well, whatever happened to Adopt a Highway? We used to have that program.
Well, there are things out there that still happens, but they get cleaned up. But the problem is, as soon as they're cleaned up, that's just open field for other idiots to be out there.
Well, I like what the sheriff said. He's working hard
Yes.
at trying to get the ones that he has
The
the
misdemeanor.
hotel down there
Mhm.
to go out and start cleaning up the roads. That'll be nice. That'll be a big help. But I noticed that all this started right after Florence, and
Really?
oh look, and there's still some campaign signs out there.
Nice. You know what? After 30 days, it should
Cleaned
be.
up.
After 30 days, for 30 days after the election, there should be a fine for any signs that are in place.
Well, March 15th was the cutoff.
Yeah.
And it is now April Fool's Day, and I still saw 17 South. I won't say your names, but you need
We
to
will
get out there.
soon. We will soon. As soon as we start driving
Clean up
by in
those
about another 5
signs.
days. Y'all got through the weekend now. Didn't-
Yeah.
didn't this,
Well, we had two
Katie bar the
volunteers
door?
with the GOP that decided to do it every year, bless them, the Spradlines. They just decided, hey, we're going out and pick them up. And so they did. They picked up a bunch.
Good for them.
Yeah, it was really great of them to do that.
And
But
for,
yeah,
for those of you who might be missing some signs, go by the little location. They're on
right next to the
Freedom Way,
Sonic.
Lejeune Boulevard, whatever you want to call it. The Sonic Drive-In, and there's a vacant area there. It's been tradition to dump those signs there
Yes.
for the volunteers to pick them up and dump them there, even if it's not their signs for
Yeah.
their particular. Y'all can go by there and pick your own signs up. You're going to need them in November or
Yes.
before November.
Yes.
I never really understood the actions that Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis took against Disney World. I've read a bit about it, heard a lot, understood very little. Seems that Disney, if I'm wrong, I'm sure someone will explain it to me, maybe, I guess from what I read, that Disney wanted to completely control the formerly tied improvement district that encompasses the Walt Disney World Resort. By control, I mean they wanted to be the governing operatives, which, like a city or county government, would be. To work setting up a separate government, bypassing the law of the land. That's just not the way it's supposed to be done. DeSantis originally wanted to eliminate more of Disney's privileges by revoking Disney World's designation as a tax district. They get special privileges for operating Disney World. Yeah, they were sort of immune from taxes. That status had effectively allowed Disney to self-govern the 20 its founding. Doing so lets the district serve as a de facto county. No, that's not the way it works. DeSantis and a whole bunch of other people got a little bit upset with Disney World's transgenderism, gay activity, or whatever. That's not what Disney was all about. Disney World was an entertainment location for everybody, not to point out, and gay is cool. No, that's not what you're supposed to be pointing out. Yeah, we don't care who you are. We don't care how you lean. We don't really care whether you're a Democrat, Republican, or me. We don't care. We just want your money. Come in here and enjoy and leave your money.
Exactly. How many times have you been to Disney World?
Once.
I've been probably 4 or 5 times.
I went to Disneyland before there was a Disney World one time.
Nobody ever bothered me.
No.
Any issues?
Kind of thinking I'd like to do that here. Maybe even take over the street in front of my house and issue special parking stickers for an outrageous fee, of course.
Of course.
For residents or visitors who park here. If they want to park here, I want this street to be mine. I want to be able to fine you. I want to be able to charge you to come here. A lot of the media have chastised the governor for the past couple of years. Some warned him then I kick his butt. So they said, don't mess with the mouse of Disney.
Mickey.
Before the next legal steps were taken, Disney entered into a last-minute development agreement with the former Reedy Creek Board to grant its stars and perpetual property rights. The settlement was reached, and folks from both sides talked positively about the future of a positive relationship between Florida and Disney World. Of course, Disney World says, hey, we won. It doesn't matter. Still not sure that I understand everything. More importantly, I'm pretty sure I don't want to. As long as everyone is happy, I'm happy. And that's the way it should be.
I agree. That's the
way it should be. We all need to be happy. If you want to go to Disney World, go. The state of Florida should not discourage you from going.
I agree.
Not like some county governments or city governments across the told their employees they could not go to Charlotte back when the bathroom bill was a big deal. They did not want them to hold their conventions in Charlotte, in North Carolina. They did not want any of that to happen. Remember that? Remember those days?
Oh,
that is just wrong. Just wrong.
It was.
910-333-0139. Where are y'all?
Yeah, still waiting to hear your
April Fool's jokes.
Here's some pranks.
Jokes have been pulled on you. Pranks on you.
And don't be pulling any pranks on us now.
Oh, you can if you want to.
I'll be leaving and blue lights come on and no.
Oh, I did that one time too.
That's wrong. That's just wrong.
Yeah, well, it is.
Well,
she did the weather for us at one of the other stations, and
I can only
great lady,
imagine.
very great lady. So she was, and I happened to see a good friend who was with Customs Enforcement at the time. He's an investigator.
I see.
And of course, he has a blue light in his car, for one of the Kojak lights he picks up off the floorboard and puts on the dash when he needs to.
Mine's amber. Mine was amber.
Yeah.
It's for
so
carry mail.
I rolled the window down, pulled up beside him at a red light. And I said, that is so-and-so. Oh, that's her. I said, yeah, go ahead, blue light her.
Oh.
And he did. I kept on going. She had to tell me all about it. And they got her out.
Oh, I'd be plotting revenge. It would never end. It would be years of revenge.
I just stood there and kind of laughed, and she said, I knew you had something to do with it. I felt that. I just had the feeling you did.
Oh,
Well,
that's just wrong.
That's just the way we used to be. It's all fun and games.
All fun and games. That's right. That's good old days. All fun and games.
Cops in a small Missouri town are having a problem with reform activists and with a few people who want something done about what some say is an overbearing police force.
Here we go.
The people and the organizations that want these policies, I understand that there's a lot that can be fixed, and there's a lot of things that can be changed. That's what Town Marshal Randy Wilson told reporters. But here's the question. How far do you go with it to where you're tying our hands to where we can't do anything? That's what a lot of police officers are asking these days. Wilson has worked in law enforcement for over 30 years, and in 2019 was elected Marshal of Knoll, Missouri. That's like being sheriff. It's a small town in the Ozarks with a population of fewer than 2,000. One of the few remaining local marshals in the state, Wilson is responsible for all general law enforcement duties in Noel. A big believer in old policing, he said fostering relationships, becoming trusted figures in town makes it easier to spot and diffuse potential problems before they occur without having to use force or even arrest people. The rural community has a diverse population with many of us from South America and Africa who came to Knoll to work at the Tyson poultry plant in town. However, when social justice protests and calls to defund the police broke out across the country in May 2020, after the death of George Floyd, an unarmed black man, Wilson was not concerned about his own residents turning against him. He said he's elected by the people to do what they want him to do within the scope of the law. In response to the widespread calls for reform, in 2022, President signed an executive order that banned chokeholds and limited the use of no-knock warrants for federal officers. It also required reports to a database of misconduct from federal officers and encouraged, but did not require, similar local law enforcement agencies. Missouri lawmakers said, oh, we can get on board with that one. They have also battled to pass reform in the state to address systemic racism in policing and remove barriers discipline officers for misconduct. One veteran officer said that in the days when he started working as a cop back in the early 2000s, officers could jail those who broke the law, even if it was a misdemeanor. Now it's in release, regardless of their criminal history. The end result is that a lot of them leave the jurisdiction once they're out of jail, never to return, never to be prosecuted. Once community policing was the way cops work. But with increased intervention from the federal government, community standards don't matter anymore. The end result is what most cops and citizens feared the most. In effect, a national police force.
Okay.
That's what it's going to end up becoming. That's not what we need. Controlling, policing Jacksonville, North Carolina, Holly Ridge, North Carolina, any of the outlying county areas. It's not what we need. Local cops know what local needs are.
That's right. They do. They're familiar with the people, the town, the streets.
They are. Many of them
businesses.
grew up where
That's
they police. Let's take a break. You're live in local Real Talk Freedom 97.1 WSME. Our number is 910-333-0139. It's a Monday morning. Wake your butt up. 910-333-0139. We'll be right back.
Richland's Piggly Wiggly, where good things cost less. Down home, down the street, Highway 24, Richlands. Smithfield. Brown sugar or spiral hams, just $2.49 a pound. Bone-in standing rib roast, $10.99 a pound. Whole boneless pork loin, just $1.99 a pound. Certified Angus beef, value pack ground beef, $4.79 a pound. 1 ounce package, North Carolina grown, fresh, red ripe strawberries, $2.99 each. And yellow, white, or bicolor corn, 59 cents each. Enjoy down home country cooking in the deli, 7 days a week in the store. Dine-in or takeout featuring hot, fresh chicken that will make you smile. Country breakfast starts at 5:30 a.m. daily at your Richlands Piggly Wiggly Deli and is home to the famous Merle Bowl. You can also take advantage of the fast, friendly pharmacy alongside Richlands Piggly Wiggly. Richlands Piggly Wiggly, down home, down the street, where good things cost less. Highway 24, Richlands. Remember, save big with the pig.
Have you gotten your copy of Topsail Times newspaper this week? If not, did you know that Topsail Times is Topsail area's only local newspaper in print? Started a little over a year ago, we now have over 1,500 online subscribers and 5,000 printed copies that go out every 2 weeks. And we never charge our readers. Information should be free to our readers, and we stick by that. Looking for an idea for date night? Want to learn some local history? How about asking a veterinarian about your pet? These things and more are available in each copy of the Topsail Times news. The word out about your business. Rates for full color ads, and the online paper version is always included for free. Need help designing the perfect ad? We can do that too. We're always looking for human interest stories, so start writing. And we love to. Check out our website at topsailtimes.net, where you can find out where to pick up a copy or check out our latest publication online.
Looking for a job? Full-time? Part-time? Il Cino Italiano Restaurant wants you. We're currently hiring servers, bartenders, and dishwashers. Il Cino Italiano is a family-owned, fast-paced restaurant that offers the best in fine dining on the Crystal Coast. If you're hardworking, reliable, professional, and have a desire to always strive for better, you make great money and be a part of an outstanding, dedicated team. Il Cino Italiano on West Corbett Avenue in Swansboro.
It's live and local. Real talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Okay, we're back. 910-333-0139. I checked the telephone lines during the break. They are operation. Also, give us a ring-a-ding. 910-333-0139. They're still working to clean up that mess of the bridge, the Francis Key Bridge in Baltimore that occurred last week. They recovered the bodies of 2 people in a pickup truck that was dangling on some of the debris that was about 25 feet down. Water's about 50 feet deep there, and they found 2 people in that. They can't get to the other vehicles that are on the bottom yet. Large cranes are there, and they're removing, cutting up pieces of the bridge.
I watched
and,
you yesterday for
picking
a
that
while.
up as fast as they can. Can't move too quickly, of course.
It is amazing. Take like a torch and just cut right through the steel.
Yeah, underwater they do that.
Oh, yeah, well, this is above water.
Oh,
2
okay.
guys in a basket, and one of them, they were just cutting a whole beam, support beam, and I was.
Well, the other vehicles that are down there, they're presumably hold the bodies of 4 other people.
Yes.
6 were missing. They found 2. I
They were
just,
sitting in their vehicles, just starting a lunch break when that happened.
1 o'clock. But I don't know whether they jumped in, tried to get away, or whether they were just there eating. We don't know.
We won't know.
They did rescue 2 people. There were originally 8 on the bridge working.
Yes.
2 of them managed to either get in somehow or were thrown into the water, and they were rescued. They're both okay. And the 2 bodies that they recovered, next to kin, been notified, of course. And the other 4, 4.
I know they're working on cleaning up and cutting through some of it where it met the concrete part of the bridge.
Sure.
They're cleaning that first because that way they can get barges in and out on both sides. And then they'll start on the boat.
Here's
the
one
ship.
of one of the issues is a lot of ships loaded with cargo
Can't get out.
that were up the creek from there, up river, and harbors. They do have the water and the width of the channel, the whole width of the channel, to be able to go downriver and continue
right
onto wherever their destinations are. So if you're missing some stuff, well, probably not in the United States, but they had cargo places in the world.
Right.
So
Yes, they did. It's interesting to watch it, and they have several live feeds. You go on
I heard,
YouTube and
I haven't
watch.
looked at it. I've seen some on some of the other channels.
I
from
get
time
glued to it.
Don't know. I hate it. It's tough. And this is not just a Baltimore or a Maryland issue. This is a nationwide issue for
It
us
is
and a
nationwide. That's
worldwide
right.
issue.
Well,
that's
it's
happening
going to
there.
push some of those cargo ships to our ports here in North Carolina, Wilmington. And
Likely they're.
yeah,
you
they've
know,
already said that they're going to
gonna have
see
to deal-
increased traffic.
Yep. And Charleston's going to be and Norfolk, of course, is going to be one of the biggie. Hey, Steve, what's up? Happy Easter.
Oh, good morning. This is Bill.
Oh, hey, Bill. How are you?
Snuck right on in.
That's I had a different phone this morning.
Oh, yeah,
I was
you did.
calling, and when we were talking on Friday about that bridge and some of the other things that sort of like the Trosco and the Andrea Doria going down. But the right here, I remember in '86 we had a storm that took the bridge at 172 as you entered base from Sneed's Herd, and they lost two people. This very similar where it was during a storm.
Sneed's Ferry Bridge was out.
I don't remember that.
But anyway, it was in the paper at the time.
What year was that?
A car, something had happened during the thing. It didn't. I don't know if it had washed all the way out or if it was damaged, but they had lost an abutment had gotten washed out. But anyway, that they had lost a car had driven off, and they had lost two people in the car. So it just reminded me of that.
Okay, help me out here. Did that bridge didn't collapse or anything, did it?
I don't know. I didn't, go back to travel over it after, reading about it. So I used to always go down to Wilmington that way to go to college, but that was in 87. At that time, it was 86. They said that there was something, the storm had washed out something, and they lost two people had gone off the edge of the bridge and drowned it in the river there. So I don't know if it was damaged and then they repaired it, but it reminded me of that, just where they had let cars had gone off the bridge, etc. So.
Do you know?
I don't remember that at all.
Now, wasn't there something with the high rise going over the top cell during a hurricane where two Marines?
I don't. They close that bridge anytime there's a storm.
Right, but they drove off of it. I think it was as they were. Something happened there. They drove off.
Yeah, I think it was before they built the high rise there.
And this was during high rise era.
With some dealing with that, and that, they used to have the turnstile bridge there at Sneed's Ferry down going to Topsail that were replaced with high rises. And which one it was?
There was no bridge at North Topsail. There was no bridge at North Topsail until they put the high rise bridge there. You had to go all the way to Holly Ridge and then to Surf City.
No, we used to take one there. There was a turnstile bridge here.
Got me. I don't recall any of that, but I'm not saying it didn't happen. Could very well.
I'm not sure which one it was. I'd read it was the 172 bridge. So, but yeah, no, just to remind me, they had the incidents of stuff like that here. And there was a couple things during the floods where people were patrolling the roads and stuff during the storms. And I know here at 53, as you get past the school and you're heading up, and the speed limit changes from 55. That bridge, the water was up and over that.
Which bridge was that?
It's a short bridge. It's just past the. You get past Foy Lock at school, and it goes downhill, and then it rises, and the speed limit changes from 45 to 55. There was, I guess it was Florence, back, just 5 years ago or so. I remember I was out and just seeing which roads were clear and how much, damage was on the roads to cut junk out during one of the lulls in it. And then the water was up and over that. And I remember seeing there was a pickup truck stuck in it that I couldn't reach. And he was just going to, he just said he was going to stay there and just wait it out until the water receded. But it was that bridge. And that was a good 20 feet above where the stream normally is.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Bill. Thank you. We got another caller here. Thank you.
Yeah, it's pretty rough sometimes.
Yeah,
when
he does.
Hurricanes.
Appreciate it, Bill.
Hey, have a good one.
You too. All right. Good morning. Who's this?
This is Harold. I got a story about an April Fool's prank.
Let me hear it.
Good. Go ahead.
It involved using butterscotch flavored lifesavers. We'd ask to use their bathroom and sneak one or two of them in the
Okay.
Ooh.
They wouldn't notice it until they got out of the shower and went to dry off. They noticed their skin was a little sticky.
Oh my.
When they get back in the shower trying to get it back off, couldn't figure out what was going on. Eventually they'd run out of hot water. I remember doing that back in the 80s and 90s.
Well, you sound just like a little devil there, Harry.
Yeah.
The key was to use the butter so they wouldn't notice, they wouldn't see it on their skin.
Gotcha.
That's genius.
I like that. I
like
haven't
that.
thought about that one. Hey, I appreciate it.
We'll have to write that down in our book of pranks.
Okay. Take care, sir. Thank you. Happy April Fool's Day. You're live and local Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Chico's Tires, 2320 Wilton Highway is Jacksonville's oldest tire company, and now Jacksonville's newest tire company is Little Chico's, located at 1675 North Marine Boulevard. Little Chico's carries all the major brands and all sizes, such as Michelin, Goodyear, B.F. Goodrich, Bridgestone, and many others, and all new tires have warranty. In addition to a great selection of new tires, Little Chico's has used tires starting at only $30. In addition to new and used tires, Little Chico's does brake service for auto and truck repair, expert custom window tinting, and towing. So if you need tires, new or used, brake service, minor auto or truck repair, expert window tinting, or if you need a tow, visit Jacksonville's newest tire store, Little Chico's, 1675 North Marine Boulevard. By phone 910-333-0473 for Little Chico's Tire Service, located at 1675 North Marine Boulevard, right here in Jacksonville.
In a season of falling temperatures and rising energy bills, your local Bryant professional is always ready, standing by to protect your home's comfort and defend you from uncomfortable temperatures, and associated with them to do whatever it takes for your home, your family, and you to be comfortable without breaking the bank. Because when the temperature falls, that's when your local Bryant professional turn efficiently.
Call Down East Heating and Air Conditioning at 346-4311 and let them keep you comfortable this winter. Down East Heating and Air Conditioning, serving our community for over 25 years. Also, Down East can help you with your guttering needs. Call Down East today at 346-4311.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing specializes in residential and commercial interior and exterior painting. In fact, they paint most anything except cars, including homes, businesses, apartment complexes, decks, and they do minor repairs, wood repairs, pressure washing, waterproofing, and more, including storm out. Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing, fully licensed, insured, and locally owned and operated by Roger Carroll Jr. References available, and customer satisfaction is always guaranteed. So if you maintain, power wash, or need a new roof, call Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, and Power Washing at 910-939-0749 or visit southerntouchpaintingnc.com. Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing salutes our troops and is proud to be part of the continued growth of Onslow and surrounding counties. Freedom 97.1 WSME.
It's live and local Real Talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Just a little bit. I've done some research, and I have a lot of research in my head because I've been going back and forth across that bridge since before it was the bridge it is now. Back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and 80s, and then 92, the current bridge was built. They had a bridge that opened up before. I thought it went up in both ends like a traditional drawbridge. I don't recall it being a swing bridge going across Onslow to Onslow Beach
right
on the Camp Lejeune side.
Yes.
Now that's still there.
Right.
Maybe that was the bridge that we're talking about instead of the Sneeds Ferry Bridge.
You know
Did something
what?
happen to that? I think something did happen to that
You
bridge.
know what? I think that's that. I think you're right.
That
I
was-
remember the story.
Yeah, okay.
Way
So
back in the day, something with that bridge.
If anybody else has got some information, please refresh my memory because, it's some ages like 12 and 13, it begins to fade. It's worse and worse.
Yeah. If anybody's got information on the big chase last night in Onslow County, I understand there was a vehicle chase with law enforcement involved, of course, coming up from the area down this way, went out towards the New River area, and then ended up on Gum Branch Road in a head-on collision. So,
Oh, really?
yes. So if anybody's got any information on it, give us a call. I'd like to know.
Yeah.
What goes on that. They showed pictures. There was pictures posted, and one of the vehicles, the one that was being chased, it was in several pieces. Like one half of the vehicle was missing. It was a nasty wreck. I'd like to hear what was going on. I didn't see anything on it whatsoever on any of our news sites. So,
I told you before the show this morning that I had a busy weekend. Not real
Yes.
busy because I only spent a few hours at Hams. They participate in various contests. There's nothing really, it is huge in some people's minds, and a lot of really serious contesters get out there, make as many contacts as they can during a 24 or 27 or 36 or whatever number of hours the contest is, generally on a weekend. And they had one this past weekend. I don't generally participate them in as a contestant. I don't do that. I might one day again. I did way back when I was in my teenage years with the Amateur Radio Club here. We took turns operating for 25 and we'd run an hour on and take some time off, and we had two people running each transmitter. We could work on up to 5 different frequency bands with 5 different transmitters, and we would do several at the same time. And we had 2 operators at a time, one logging, one talking. And so anyway, I kind of did it myself this weekend just for giggles again.
Oh, it'd be fun.
Because conditions were really cool, really, really cool. And 3 or 4 hours total time that I spent, I made 76 contacts with individuals. All were in other countries except one guy in Montana. I wanted to talk with him because I hadn't chatted with somebody in Montana in a while. These are very quick contacts, and they're done to show that in cases of a nationwide, regional, or a worldwide event, catastrophic event, and all communications knocked out for law enforcement, for emergency providers and whatever,
yes,
we still have contact.
That's right.
And we can relay information. Same thing that it happened. And I got involved in that and with the Alaskan earthquake, running health and welfare messages because all comms out of Alaska were down, nothing.
Yeah.
No telephones, no nothing. So hams were communicating with other places that filtered through a series of networks, nationwide, regional, and local networks, till we got so-and-so. Dick and Jane in Juneau have sent a message to in Jacksonville, North Carolina, that they're fine, don't worry. And then it would be relayed usually by telephone at that time when it got down to the local level. But that's the way we did things, and we still can do those things in case something happened. I made 76 contacts just for giggles.
Wow.
Off and on for up to about 3 hours total. And of those, I did 41 different countries during that time.
That's awesome.
Worldwide.
That would be so interesting. I used to do some of that,
Well,
but
CB.
not with this. It was a base CB and it had a booster box on it.
That's illegal.
Yeah, that was way back.
Anyway, it was just a lot of fun. I just got a confirmation card, what they call QSL cards, via email from a guy in New Brunswick, Canada.
I want to do this.
He sent it to me via email this morning, and it showed that we worked on the 31st at 1319. Now that's UTC time. That's also known as Zulu time or Greenwich Mean Time, which is currently with our daylight savings time hours ahead of us. So this was at 119 minus 4 is what? 919?
119
So
minus
this
4
would have
is
been
150.
919 local time yesterday
Interesting.
in the morning.
That would be so much fun.
That's cool.
Well, we still have a group here that does this, and they work with the county government, don't
Yep,
they?
we do. The Onslow Amateur Radio Club.
Yeah, that's right. We need them on.
Well, we'll get them on here again too. So,
Yes.
all right, hang in there. We do have a caller waiting, but we do have some Fox News break. So hang in there, and we'll be right back. You're live and local Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
WSME, Camp Lejeune, W246CJ, Jacksonville.
Pelosi, Nashville police are looking for a 46-year-old man named Anton Rucker. They say he is responsible for an Easter Day shooting that killed one man and hurt 5 others. According to law enforcement, 2 men got into an altercation at Easter brunch.
Metro police say Rucker was the only one to shoot, and some people were even trying to stop him. We've learned the victim is 33-year-old Alan Beacom.
That is Peyton Muse, a Fox TV affiliate, WZTV Nashville. The U.S. Coast Guard giving Fox News a tour into Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore yesterday. Maryland Governor Wes Moore saying crews are working to open a channel in the Port of Baltimore.
But we know that we have to move with safety and we have to move with speed in order to get our commercial engine going again.
The bridge collapsed after a cargo ship rammed into a beam last week. 6 construction workers were killed. America is listening to Fox News.
Freedom 97.1.
WSME.
It's live and local. Real Talk.
Okay, if I did my homework right and I looked at the telephone right, I think I know who this is. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Uh-oh, we got some kind of echo chamber going on here. Are you there now? Gotcha.
Yes,
Okay.
much better.
Thank you. Don't know what that was.
This is Curtis.
Hey, Curtis, what's up?
Good morning.
Doing fine. What's going on?
I wish Kelly was there so she could hear this story, but I had a first yesterday. I went to been going to church all my life, and I had a first instance that I've ever had happen in church. We traveled out of town to a city, and we went with my daughter to church. I went to one of the a big mega church, what I call it. It's not a little small church, but it's a nice sized contemporary church. And I sat in the balcony. The church was just jam packed, and we sat in the balcony, and we got there about 20 minutes before church started, and we had a chance to talk to one another, talk to families and stuff. And all of a sudden, I smelt a smell of reefer in the church.
Yeah.
And it was not just a small smell. I mean, it was like a fresh smell.
Uh-oh.
And I was like, oh my God. And we were sitting there and nobody said anything. And all of a sudden, everybody just looked at each other like, oh my God. You smell it. And, this is, I mean, it's not legalized.
It's not.
It's so much common now. Last fall, I went on the Topsail, North Topsail Pier when they were catching all spot run. It was elbow to elbow on one side of the pier. And we got about midway of the pier, and all of a sudden, we smelled reefer, sitting at L's Drive-In at Morehead City last year eating in our car, and there was just a lot of people there, a lot of cars, and we smelled reefer. And it's just I don't know Rayford. I mean, as a police officer, I mean, what can you do? I mean, there's nothing you can do. It's just
crazy
because it's just life. I mean, the world's changed,
Well, the world's changed, but the laws are, and to be honest with you, some of the old codgers like me, if I was still, I still am old, but not doing that kind of work anymore. And I didn't retire. I moved on to another profession after 18 years. But anyway, I like, golly, some people write that off as just being, that's just people smoking a little pot. Well, no, it's not. There are some medical reasons. If you got a prescription for doing certain in North Carolina that says you can go smoke pot, even if you got medical stuff to deal with it. You got other alternatives. You got the THC, you've got the cannabis stuff here and there, but it's not. I don't know of anybody that authorizes you to smoke the dope.
Okay.
Do you in
No.
North Carolina?
No.
And if I was, he might get laughed out of it, but I wouldn't care. People laughed at me all the time, still do. I'd be walking up and down in plain clothes, maybe wearing this North Carolina State University ball cap on me, and maybe a dive shirt that says, I'm an old diver or whatever. I'd be walking up and down there with my badge. Nobody would know it until I walked up to them. You know how long it would take that word to spread?
Oh, yes.
Because I'd be writing tickets.
Yeah.
I'd have no problem writing tickets. And yes, you can guarantee it, that misdemeanor violation is a good chance that probably 25% of the time the idiots would want to hand, and then it becomes a felony.
Well, there's a whole nother element to it. Respect of other people
Yes.
sitting there. Why would you do that?
Absolutely. Amen.
I don't want anybody smoking around me. I'll choose to remove myself from that environment. Unfortunately, in certain places, they can legally smoke. Okay, good. Go to your house. I don't care. I'm not going to your house if you're smoking. Done.
Right.
And if you're smoking pot, I'm not myself from the entire premises. And you just never knew what I will be doing at that point in time these days, because I take it it's an offense, and it is offensive
Disrespectful to other people.
and disrespectful.
Yes.
I don't want your secondhand smoke, whether it's tobacco or whether it's pot. Pot, you can get a secondhand buzz off of it. You do know that.
Right. Yes.
Probably not on a fishing pier, but from getting, yes, you can get it. I don't want it.
It's just a total disregard for the law.
It is. That's part of it.
Yes, most definitely.
And disrespect for me.
That's right. There that should be telling you shouldn't be doing it.
Go away.
Go away. Go down the street. Go home.
You guys have a good morning. Just
Thank
wanted
you
to
too,
find out
Curtis.
there.
Hey, have you ever pulled a practical joke on April Fool's Day? You ever anybody on this day?
Well, actually, I was thinking yesterday morning that was early April Fool's Day, smelling reefer in church.
Well, I guess that would be.
Hey, wow.
There are a lot of April Fools out there, and March 31st Fools too. But Easter Fool.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm surprised
Have a good one, guys.
that I'm surprised
You
that the
too,
minister
Curtis.
didn't say something though. But I'm really surprised that if he or she knew it, I'm
Well,
surprised they didn't say something.
When I went to that meeting last week in Selma, in the woods, in the boonies, we were in a huge area, and they went and opened all the doors to let some fresh air in. Now I'm sitting like 5 rows up from the back door, and all of a sudden there was this strong odor of cigarette smoke. Somebody was standing outside the
Outside.
doors.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it was like they were sitting next to me. It was so everybody was looking all around
Well,
like,
they set up a draft when you did that. Now,
Right.
here's the thing about that. Let's go on.
don't stand in front of the door.
A lot of people will say, "Oh, you got a smoking area outside. Go outside."
Right.
No, not at the entrance, because when you have to go through a maze of
Yes.
smoke to get into a store, I choose not to
Right.
go to that store.
Right.
So stores, all of you people, restaurants, no. Would you believe that at New Hanover Memorial Hospital, way back, not now,
Right.
they had a no smoking policy, right, at the
Right.
hospital. But there are some people that they will allow, including the staff at one time, to go out on the balcony at the end of the hallway outside and smoke.
So every time you open the door,
They came in, and they also had outside the front door, they had an area designated. So you had to go. Can you imagine all the cancer patients that had to go through that? The respiratory patients, the COPD patients, those who had to walk through that plume of smoke to get into the hospital to
that's
be
just
treated
wrong. That's
for
a
that
slap
problem.
in their face.
Yeah.
That's up here slapping their face.
That's not the case at New Hanover anymore,
Right.
or whatever they call themselves these days.
Well, Oslo's the same way. There's no smoking area. They did have a gazebo set up.
Yeah, they
where you
used to do
could
that
go.
too. But I think what they call the campus now, there's no
Right.
smoking on the campus
Right.
at a lot of hospitals. And
Right.
that's the way it should be.
Well, that's the same thing. Yeah, I mean, look at the pharmacies, like CVS, Walgreens. They stopped selling cigarettes years and years ago.
No
in their
problem with that.
stores. Yeah,
No.
which is a good thing. I mean, you're going to go in there and get medicine for your cancer and buy a pack of cigarettes at the same time. It
Well,
was just
yeah, and I've known people,
yes,
some of them close to me, that they had quadruple bypass surgery issues, and
Right.
then in a hospital they go out into the smoking area and smoke while they're recovering. Really?
Yeah, I had an uncle that was on oxygen, and he would go outside
God.
with his oxygen
Oh.
tank, and we were just everything to blow up at any minute. We're like,
Yeah, little things like that.
Not a
Did you
good
just cough?
yes, I did. I had a tickle in my throat.
Thinking about that smoke.
Hopefully, this pollen will go away soon.
Yeah, well, most of it seems to be gone now. I don't see as
Just
much
makes my
yellow.
throat scratchy, but
It does.
yeah. Anyway, yeah, I come across this one story, and we have time before news, before weather, that just got no. It's a downtown New York City firefighting company was told by a local councilwoman that they must remove from their truck a flag commemorating men they lost on 9/11.
Really?
The woman's office told the ladder company they received multiple complaints about the political flag.
Well,
Please tell me
prove
what's
it.
political about that.
Prove it. Prove it. Show me the complaints. Show me any of the
Right.
complaints. You've got multiple complaints from whom?
Well, authorities at the New York City Fire Department commanded a ladder company in the East Village to remove a flag honoring 6 of the company's men who perished on 9/11 after a resident complained that it was a fascist symbol.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Yeah, y'all can do stuff, you're fascist
Fascist.
crap.
Yes. The order
Get
arrived
on a
on
garbage barge and head offshore.
See, the order arrived on March 22nd after a man whose reports claimed to be a staffer for progressive Manhattan Councilwoman Carlina Rivera confronted firefighters at Ladder Company 11. First of all, if you pull up on a bicycle, I'm not going to listen to you. The man pulled up to the firehouse, and he told them that he worked for the councilwoman, and he works for Rivera, and that the politician's office had complained several days earlier about the flag. Now, who's making it political?
Yeah, they are.
They are.
Yep.
It's the thin red line flag, which is a black and white American flag with a red line across the middle. It's meant to show solidarity with fire fallen or been injured on the job. Making them take it off their truck.
Yeah, y'all get a life.
Good.
Somebody. It's New York. What can I say?
I just, what can you say?
I think we got Bill back. Hey, Bill.
Yeah. Yeah, you refresh my memory a bit. Yeah, I remember there were the drawbridges there, and that was one of the things. But as you were discussing this morning, the Battle of Okinawa, where they had a 1,300 ship, 1,600 ship invasion force.
Right.
Yeah. It was, I guess, in the 80s where they were trying to just get 600 ship Navy seemed like a mission impossible. I don't know if they hadn't achieved it. I know back then when James Webb had resigned, but I don't know how they stand now. Do they? Where are they? 100 ships in the Navy now?
I have no idea. I would think it's more than that, but I don't know. I'll check
hope
it.
It's more than that.
I hope it's more than that. I hope it's a lot more than that.
Yeah. Another thing of aircraft has replaced a lot of everything.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to call back to say, I remember those were drawbridges now. So anyway, well, have a good day and have a happy
You too,
Monday.
Bill.
All right, Bill. Take
Thank
care.
you, Bill.
My. Let me see how many there are. I just want to do a quick check here, see if I can find out how many we have these days. Ooh, not good.
Wow. That's Interesting.
Yeah, if that's true, let's see. Get another one.
The U.S. Navy ought to be right.
U.S. Navy. Oh, they just got bunches. They don't give me numbers. I saw one post here where we've got about 280
Yes.
ready to be deployed. That just doesn't sound right.
We have that many.
299 deployable combat vessels, 4,000 operational aircraft as of last July. That's not that many. And yeah, Bill was right. There were 1,300 or so ships headed for Okinawa. And that wasn't all the ships that we had during World War II. You got to understand that.
Who has the largest navy in the world?
At that time,
Right there.
yep, 730
Go back
military
up
vessels.
here. Go back up there. It said who has the largest. Go back up a couple right there. Yeah. China.
730 military vehicles. Russia has 598. We have 299. North Korea has 500.